Hey, good morning everybody for another episode of Green Bee Gardener. And we've recently, in the last few posts, told you about what an extraordinary winter it's been here in North Florida. So it got my banana trees like it sometimes does. I mean, it doesn't get them every year, but it gets them pretty much most years, I would say. Eventually sometime in January, so you can see they've all died back. What I want to do is just tell you a little bit about how I go about trimming them up. It's early to mid-February right now, so the chance of frost is pretty low right now. Again, but doesn't mean that we couldn't have it. Taking off the old leaves, I try to keep in mind that it could possibly, we could have another snap freeze or something like that. Certainly if you live a few miles north of where we are here near Port St. Joe, you have more of a risk than we do. So when I cut them off, I just take some regular, these are heavy duty utility scissors. I find they work the best because banana leaves are a lot like paper. And they'll confound you to cut them with regular snips. So notice when I do it, I'm cutting off, I just want to cut off these limbs. I don't want to do like some people have done now. When I was first told about bananas, people would come down here and cut them all the way off near the bottom. And of course they would come up every year, no worries. I mean, they still come back up. But to me, the banana always had to make up for an awful lot of lost living material. And so my chance of getting actual bananas to eat, which I have for the last 2 years now, were almost not gonna happen. Plus, a lot of this brown material right here serves to insulate the part that's alive on the inside that's gonna make your new leaves when the weather warms up enough. So I like to leave this here as an insulator to keep that living tissue protected from cold. And that's why I always trim near the top. Later on, as the weather warms up, if you want to, you can come in and cut further down. But what you'll see is, and I don't really want to do it right now, but what you'll see if you do, is when you cut across a little low enough, that there'll be a green interior where there's an actual living leaf right there waiting to come out. I don't want sunlight to hit that green leaf and possibly fool it into to growing sooner than I want it to. I want to really feel confident that the weather is going to be warm and stay warm enough and not get below freezing before I actually even attempt to cut a little lower. So I'll go ahead and take off a few of these again. I've got a side experiment going on where I'm using these banana leaves in place of cardboard boxes for a no-till garden that we're working on that you may have seen if you caught a few other episodes. So you can imagine I'm cutting these almost like we used to back in Kentucky for cutting tobacco leaves nearly, and holding them all the same way, because I find when I lay these down for my no-till garden, it's going to be almost like building a thatch roof. It's just way less impressive. When I cut them off here like this, keep them all one way. Again, that has nothing to do with the banana part of this video. But I'm just going to cut these off. Again, I'm going to preserve the stem and the brown dead material from around there, only because, again, I want to keep this insulating layer. You may look on other sites and find people that say, this is not a good idea. But right now I just can't, from practical experience, say I can confirm that. I have cut them all the way back. I've done that many a time, and people told me to do that. But again, I like having bananas, and I really feel like the plant has to make up that difference. Over here in the garden that you've seen us work on in a few days past, we were putting cardboard boxes, and some people go, oh man, that's not good. This banana is much better, you know, and I agree it probably is. But we do throw an awful lot of cardboard into the landfills, burn it up, stuff like that. Way better use of it for gardening or composting. I know some people put it right onto their compost heaps. What I'm wondering about is, this is my little experiment, is that since bananas are supposed to be high in potassium, I'm going to assume the leaves have quite a bit too. And when I lay these down here, they'll do like cardboard does. They'll block out the weeds like a mulch, but then I'll put the dirt over top, and then as the banana leaves compost underneath that layer of dirt, whatever nutrients they have will then be released into the soil. Well, I've got the bananas all trimmed up. You can see from over here that I've taken them all down, just cutting off the parts of the leaves that were dead. Trying to leave the core of the tree that's alive protected from any cold that we might have later. And then if the weather warms up and stuff and I don't see any growth, then I can go ahead and cut down just a speck further. But again, I always want to preserve as much of the false stem as possible. Now over here to our no-till garden, you can see we've laid the leaves out, and it'd be great if you could lay these out and then let it rain on them a couple of times to get them all good and flat and settled before you put your dirt over it. And man, here in Florida it's pretty breezy a lot of the time, and they're gonna blow all over the place on you. Whenever you couldn't manage to get on there, you know, just throw out in your yard and run over it with the mulching blade on your lawnmower and add some organic material and fertilizer that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting some dirt over top of here and see how it works. Helps to have garden boots on. You don't think you'd need it to walk around in swamps or something around here, but if I'd had regular shoes on, poured that dirt right down my socks, man, would it not feel good.
Hey there, Green Bee Gardeners. We are out in Wewa getting some compost for our no-till garden. As you know, we still have about halfway to go. So we're here getting some fresh compost to take home in the Green Bee Gardener truck.
This is our friend Leonidas, and he's, yes he is, he's named after the famous Spartan king, but he's gonna hook us up here. He's pretty skilled at loading this stuff, so anyway, we'll check in a little bit later and let you know how to get here. East side of Wewa, but that's his number, 819-8802. His name is Leonidas. Leonidas or Leonidas as he likes to say it. Well, here we're at Goodwin Farms here with Leonidas. He's a new friend we just met. He's going to tell us a little bit about some composting that he's been doing and some wood chips that he gets from the city. And he's working on composting it himself and then turning and seeing if the community wants to come out and buy it. Go ahead and tell us what you're doing.
This is fresh stuff here, the fresh chips. I mound that up and just leave it sitting for about 6 or 8 months. Then I'll shuffle it, move it around to a different spot. As you see, it's just plain wood chips. It's nothing special except that it will fill up an area, you know, and raise your ground up. But after about 1.5 to 2 years, deteriorates and moistens into this. This is real rich. It's good for worm beds. You can raise wigglers in it. I use it around my grapevines, and they love it. So that's just one thing I do since I'm retired, and I have to stay busy.
Well, we're hoping to be retired one day and be able to stay busy too. And with your help, we're going to increase what we do with our GreenBeeGardener website. All right, thanks for joining us today. Awesome. We'll tell you how it goes.
And there you have the final result of our beautiful approximately half a bed compost from our friend Lee in Wewa over the top of the banana leaves. So probably this weekend we'll plant some more peas and a few more items, but this is the beginning of our no-till garden, and it's looking pretty great. So don't forget, plant some seeds and save some bees, and we'll see you again real soon here on Green Bee Gardener. Bye-bye.
Bye.